Welcome back to ARMEDFORAGER. Today we're going to look at this PSA Sabre slide for Glock 19 Gen 3. So pretty good follow-up shots already. So actually pretty nice. It does come in this bag and they give you a tool. In that bag, they put it in this box. So there's the packaging. So this is what it's called on the info ticket here. So a PSA Dagger Sabre S9mm slide assembly Zeffiri. So Z-E-F-F-I-R-I slide. And this is the tin ported non-threaded barrel. So this is a pretty new offering from PSA, and this thing is beautiful. Check that out. And it does have that ported barrel. It's got these really nice angled serrations here, and it's got some stippling on the serrations. It's got the MOS right on top. This beautiful tin barrel, so tin coated. It looks like gold. It says 9x19 on the top, and then it says Sabre on the side. So some of y'all are probably used to like the AR-15 type Sabre that PSA came out with. Sabre at this point just seems to be their quality firearms because they got them in Glock 19 slides. Moving on, it does have front serrations, and those are also angled and also stippled. So you can get a better pull, better purchase on that. And then it does have the side cutouts here and the top because it has 3 ports on there. Very cool. If you know anything why ports are important is because of that recoil impulse, that kick makes the barrel want to elevate and angle that way. The ports are supposed to work as kind of, I think of it as like thrusters where, it kind of pushes it back down. Same purpose as like a compensator or a comp on the end, but this one's integrated into the barrel. And then it's got that cutout so it can function correctly. That's kind of the long and short of it. It's pretty nice looking. It's got Sabre here on the side, and it's got that window here. It's got that really nice rifled barrel. It's got this interesting backplate. So this thing is pretty cool. It's actually a Gen 5 backplate. And I think on the website it says Gen 1 through 3 works really good with. But this is a Gen 5 plate. It doesn't bump into anything. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Then it's got that design here, the 2 Sabre swords, like pirate swords. And then these kind of standard, not really anything to write home about tall sights, suppressor height sights. They're just straight up black, nothing special about them. These I'm actually going to replace with SpeedSights. They're developing a co-witness taller sight, SpeedSights are. So check them out, I got some videos on them. They've been really kind to the channel, so shout out to SpeedSights, y'all are awesome. But we're gonna test out these sights today. Yeah, so the cool things about this, I've got a Glock 49, so this is completely clear, by the way, YouTube. So if you know anything, so these are SpeedSights, by the way. It's got those diamonds, just killing it. But if you know anything about Glock, the 49 is basically just a Glock 19 long slide. Glock 49 is discontinued, but it shares the exact same frame as the Glock 19. So let's take this down. Again, clear. Safety check, everything's just fine. This is stated to work with Gen 1 through 3. This is a Gen 5 frame. What I thought I was gonna run into was an issue with the backplate. And so I went and bought a Gen 5 backplate because you can convert Gen 3 to Gen 5 slides by getting a different backplate so it doesn't bump into anything, and then getting this dust cover basically for the front. It's called a slide adapter plate for Glock Gen 4 and 5. Here's the cool thing. I tried this out before I adapted anything at all, and it bypasses all the stuff. It doesn't get hung up on anything. And there it is. So it's on there. And check that out. The backplate, it just serves its purpose. So I think they did that for a particular reason. Most likely, the only reason I can think of is that they did it so it could work with the Gen 5 frame. It's the only reason they would do that. And unless they just wanted their backplates to be Gen 5 backplates. But we're going to test that out today. Haven't had any issues in the past with converting the Gen 3s to Gen 5s or 4s. So this shouldn't be any different. But we're going to try that out. Here's the dust cover element to that. You see that kind of smile, that opening on the bottom here? That's what this adapter is for. So we'll put that in. First, actually, let's check out the functionality, because these do work. I just want to prove it. These do work without that dust cover. That thing is just for cosmetic purposes only. So we'll try that. I got this Mech Gar mag, and this is the 18 round. And so for training and I guess duty use too, but for training purposes, for sure, 18 rounds seems to be, for me, the sweet spot. It's pretty cool. You can set up 3 targets, boom, 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 hit 3, 3, 3, and then 2, 2, 2, and then 1 in the head each. 18 rounds is a perfect. That's the drill I love doing the most, and I can achieve that with the 18 rounds. So hey, and it's got a pretty cool follower. So there's that too. Then I got 3 15-round mags, Gen 5 Glock 19 mags. All right, so let's load up. We'll try it without the dust cover. We'll see the functionality. Then we'll test the accuracy since it's got ports. You know, within the midst of all that, after we try out without the dust cover, we'll just put this in. Let's go. Oh, before all that, Riptide. So you want to lube up your firearms. I don't mind using brand new firearms dry. I don't really care. Like a lot of people have aversions to that and freak out about that. I've seen the comments. People really, really don't like that. I think it's kind of a better function test, you know, as far as that goes, but I'm gonna lube it up first. I know that's probably the better way to do it anyway, especially with this Riptide. So Riptide, it is a veteran founded company, and it's got advanced CLP in it. So CLP plus. So that's the way to go. Links in the description. A couple other things I noticed right away is that this spring, the spring tension is actually really tense. So it's very difficult to pull the slide back. So a lot of spring tension compared to Gen 5 Glock 19s. This isn't as intense as well. You can really just pull that one back with ease. So that's one thing to mention. I don't know if that'll have anything to do with the functionality, but we'll see. And then the other thing, it doesn't have the cutout here for the slide lock, slide release. So you may have mixed ability there to lock the slide with the right side, because Gen 5s have it on both sides. It's ambi. The cutout is on the left over here, but you can manipulate and activate the slide from the right side. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's go. So I do have a target set up downrange. It's about 50 feet away. I'm not going to do the yard conversion. I'll put it right here. But about 50 feet away, I'll put some fresh coat of this fluorescent orange on there, and we'll just see, you know, as far as this goes, we're going to check the function first. But as we're checking its function with the 3 15-round magazines and then moving on to the 18-rounder, we'll actually try to hit the target from over here. So we'll check its accuracy as well. And then we'll see, you know, with the ported barrel, what kind of follow-up shots we can get with this. This will just help us determine if we're actually hitting the target if we don't hear all the ping, ping, plings. All right, we're not using Spear Gold Dot today. I usually do that with the 38 Special. We are using kind of another standard that I use, and that's the CCI Blazer. So this is a 124 grain full metal jacket. Okay, and we'll just function test this right out the gate without that dust cover. Here we go. So as you see, I mean, there wasn't anything catastrophic. I didn't get any weird blowback, nothing like that. It functioned very, very well. It doesn't need the dust cover. It may look a little strange without it. I don't think anybody's really going to notice, like, who are you pointing your barrel at type of thing. You know, if you're at the range and you're hanging out with the guys and stuff and they're like, hey, what's that? Like, why does it look so weird? That may be a thing. But if you're like me and want your firearm, especially your frame, that's why I thought, you know, SIG had the right idea as far as their fire control group and their modules and, you know, all of that stuff. I like things to be kind of interchangeable. I do have, you know, different slides for this. Really wanted to get another Dagger, but then I saw that they had this kind of advanced version of the Dagger, and so went with this one. But yeah, Glock 49, got that longer slide, got this one with the ported barrel, the Advantage arm slide, you know, that 22 LR. So multi-function frame, you know, you can have 3, 4, 5 guns in one with just a single frame. But we will put that dust cover on, and then we'll check out the functionality of, you know, 30 more rounds with the 15 round mags, and then we'll try out that 18 round mag. One thing I did notice with this mag opposed to the Gen 5 Glock mags is that it doesn't have a locked follower. So the ammunition does a nosedive when you try to insert the other ammo in here. And so that can be kind of annoying for one. And then when the follower does that, when it allows itself to do that, it can cause some malfunctions. And so I'm not super impressed with that, but everybody else has had really, really good things to say about these mags. But I guess we'll see. I couldn't imagine necessarily that we're going to have any malfunctions with this, especially given the ammo and the type of firearm we're using. But I guess we'll see. All right, cool. Yeah, so the slide adapter is actually pretty easy. You just put it on the end there. See how it fills the gap now? And then the guide rod goes right in there. No problem. And it's cool because it's attached to the slide, so you don't have to do anything to the frame. All right, clear, there's no ammunition in this firearm at all, thanks YouTube. And again, this just goes right on, no problem. There it is. Okay, now that gap has been filled in and it doesn't look janky. Okay, well, we'll function test with a couple of more mags, the 2 15 round mags, and then we'll use the 18 rounder. Here we go. Cool. Function test seemed to work really well. No malfunctions, nothing weird or wonky happened. Nothing got damaged or broke. Seems to be doing just fine, which is pretty cool. So if you were looking to get kind of a high quality slide at like half the price of what you would pay for something like this, the PSA Sabre is the way to go, even if you have a Gen 5 frame. Let's get a little bit closer with this next 15 rounder and then the 18 round. And we'll do kind of a what a scenario would be instead of, you know, like 50 feet away for like self-defense scenario. Yeah, it's like half the distance, so like 30 feet away. Let's draw and fire a few rounds and see what we can get. Standard Glock 19 mag, 15 rounds. So pretty good follow-up shots already. Really, really good follow-up shots. get that rhythm. I spoke too soon. Yeah, I guess my thoughts on this, you know, as far as final thoughts before we get into other things, this stays pretty stable. You can really get a rhythm with this. It looks really good. The ported barrel seems to do what it's supposed to do. The sights aren't perfect, but I never expect a Glock type, even if it's a Glock clone, to have the sights that I want. So if you are in the market for sights, get those SpeedSights. And that's the name of them. Check them out, SpeedSights. Also, other honorable mentions, MFT, Mission First Tactical. Check them out. They got everything you could ever need and then some. But yeah, the look, the feel, the accuracy, the follow-up. And to answer the question, does it work with Gen 5? I think it was kind of made for it in a lot of ways. So yeah, it works. And you don't need to get the backplate. So that's cool. Really the only thing, and it's really just for cosmetic purposes, would be that dust cover. So there you go. All right, 18 round steel mag. Okay. Wasn't trying to be as accurate as possible. Wanted to check the functionality, and with this mag, it did not lock the slide open. A couple of things with that. It may be the mag, so yeah, let's look at that for a minute. It could be the mag. It could be the mag, the reason why it didn't lock open. It does lock open, you know, manually without hitting the slide lock, slide release. The other thing with this mag, so there's two things, I guess, two critiques now. When you try to push the mag in, sometimes it will catch. So like right there, it's catching. I can't push it in there unless I force it in. So there's another thing. So those two things, I guess. Like if you're really needing to reload and push that sucker in there, it may catch. Probably not the best scenario. Definitely not the best thing to happen when you need it not to happen. And then not locking back, that may have something to do with the spring tension on the slide though. And with that said, we went through 3 15-round mags without that happening. We kind of ran the full gamut here. I guess I should give some shots of me just, you know, mag dumping on this as accurate as possible. So let's do that. That way all you haters out there are like, I'm not gonna trust this guy. He can't even hit a target from 30 feet away. All right, yeah, before we get to it, I guess 3 critiques on that mag. It doesn't have that anti-tilt follower as well, so whatever. All right, here we go. Okay, well, if you saw that, it didn't lock open, so definitely the spring tension. So let's go there with it. I've done a lot of work on Glocks, and so I guess I'm pretty confident to say that, yeah, it's the spring tension at this point. So 2 critiques on the mag. The anti-tilt follower is kind of essential. I really respect companies that do that, because I mean, jamming them in, even using the assist thing to put the ammunition in the mag to reload it, that can be helpful. But if you don't have that on you, then you're just jamming your thumb into that steel mag. That's not fun. It takes longer and all of that. So as far as the spring tension, that'll loosen up over time. So I'm not hating on the Sabre at all, but that's what you can expect. At least for the first, you know, 500 rounds probably. Or you could change out the spring. You know, you can get a different spring. I've got, I don't know, probably not hundreds of springs, but a lot of different springs, you know, 11-pound tension, 6-pound tension, and different guide rods for this. So that's no issue for me. It may be for you, but you know, that's why we're doing this video, so you can have an informed decision. All right, last 15 rounds. Yeah, once you get that kind of flow, you know, then it's no problem. Didn't lock open again. So I don't think there's another round in there. I just don't think that it locked. No, it did not. Okay. So, you know, whatever. That's no big deal when you're mag dumping like that at the range. That's no problem. I guess when it counts, you're not like mag dumping on somebody anyway. I guess there may be a scenario where that calls for it, but most likely not. You know, a couple of rounds to stop the threat. There you go. I think, you know, kind of a critical review of the Sabre, but that's what you can kind of expect. So do what's right and stay safe.